I'm making a tour around the site of the proposed Woodcroft housing estate. It's currently March 2017, so at the moment nothing has been started. I'm standing on one of the footpaths that lead around the outside of the estate, which will still be in existence once the estate is built. It continues this way, and looking across the open field, which when the estate's finished will be housing, we can see Woodcroft Farm as it is now, the horses in the field, the site where lots of cars and vans are dumped in the farm grounds. And if I turn back to the south, we can see the start of the Wecock housing estate, the back of some of the flats and the houses, and just this side is the park that was really refurbished a couple of years ago, just off Curlew Gardens. Okay, so I'm going to walk down through the footpath. I'll quickly turn to the left in a westward direction. We can see the fields, which will still exist. I think they're meant to become open grounds for anybody to use once the housing estate's finished. And here's a better view of the fields. Currently used for growing crops, but meant to become just open area once the housing estate's finished. This path itself's not very well maintained, but it's kept open most of the year round. With the tree canopy overhead, it keeps the vegetation low, and there's enough people come through here that beat back the weeds and the undergrowth. A few stinging nettles encroach onto the area, but otherwise than that, it's a pretty pleasant walk. Not used by that many in this estate though, as it doesn't really go anywhere, although it can be used by people to get up to the stables, the other side of the farm. It's sometimes used as a bridleway. Okay, at this point we reach the northern edge of the boundary mark. We can see the dirt road, not used by many at all, but still in good condition. It basically runs across the northern boundary of what will become Woodcroft Estate. Again, at the moment it's just land that's used by horses, set aside for that purpose, not reused for any other use. There's no farming that goes on in these fields. You can see all the way around there's woodlands. And looking southward back towards the Wecock, we can see the northern side of the fields of the farm. Not too much of a view of the farm from this area, as there's too many trees in the way. You can see the back of the horse van they used to transport their horses around, and a training paddock over there that they use for the horses at times. This is one of the most common bridleways, and this leads into the north of the farm. And as we can see, at this stage we get more and more horses. One of the small copses that are marked on the map. And we're at the road now. I don't think I can get round the corner, so I'll have to head back. If I turn south here, it leads back into the farm. And again, these paths just lead to fields, which I've never been to, and I don't think I'm allowed into, even though the gate's been left open. I've never been up this way, so I'll have a quick look. And see, there's a path around the top of the field. Another access into the field that I just came from. Looks like there's a few, lots of activity going on here at times. But again, just a set aside field, not used for anything, just for the horses to come out. And these are just the roads used by the farmer to get to the fields. And for other people to access things like this pylon used for the communications of the mobile phones. But like many areas just on our doorstep, never realised what's here until we actually come and have a look around. And most of it's all boarded off by fences and barbed wire, and you always wonder whether you should be here or not. Oh, well, somebody's been here and dumped some tyre and an old creosote pot. Looks like people do come through here after the barbed wire's been brought down. This is the north end of the field that went into the gate at the south end. Now this in theory will be part of the estate as well. Probably part of the reason why it's not used for farming anymore. Just waiting for the build to begin, which has been proposed for a long time, probably over 10 years now. Plans were formalised back in 2014 and introduced back in 2011. So here, the eastern side of the proposed Woodcroft housing estate. You can see the entrance in to what will become a bridleway. Let's pan round. You see the road. It comes up from Lovedene, where the Tesco's is, and just to the right there's the access to the school. I'll take a wander up this road, because at this point is currently where the bridleway ends, where I just came to the other side at the north end of the bridleway. Although it's not clearly marked, I just spoke to a builder working on it who told me that it's out of bounds and not currently open to the public. From this side we can see the gate that runs all the way across, and the fencing that will become what I believe is going to be a football pitch. Oh, lovely bit of land. Already grassed and ready to go. Nobody knows it's here. And they even planted the trees around the outside. Pan round. This will be the eastern edge of the Woodcroft housing estate. And if you look to the west, we can see the pylon. That'll give us some idea of the proximity of where we are. And if I look to the south and walk down to the footpath, you can see the north side of the school. Here's the footpath that runs along the north side of the school. The school's currently closed as it's Easter. And we can just make out the eastern side of the Wecock housing estate over there, where the road's going to go in and take up some of the school grounds. Okay. So I'm walking along the footpath on the north side of the school, and we can see they built an access path in to what will become the playing fields. And they got a gate already pre-installed, ready for access into the school. Sounds like there's a school group or some half-term group actually in the school at the moment. I'm now walking on the south edge of what will become the Woodcroft housing estate. This is the footpath that runs down the west side of the school, and will still be there once the road is built. With the road, you effectively come up to the estate through this bit of land, hugging close to the side of the fence, going all the way down to Eagle Avenue. A few months ago this path was cleared by some offenders, the youth offenders. So where there used to be lots of rubbish and mounds of dirt, and it wasn't a nice path, it's now restored to its former glory. Many thanks to those youth offenders. To our left is the Wecock playing fields, where when it's not too wet they sometimes had some football games here, and just at the far end is the park with the start of the housing estate. Skate park we just come up to. I'm just going to turn back to the north, cross over the Woodcroft Farm Road that runs from east from the school, west all the way along to where the farm is. And here's another one of the fields just currently being used by horses. And let's say in 10 years time, maybe, it's going to be full up with houses. From the plans it's going to be a mix of 1 bedroom, only about 8 of those, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom and a few 4 bedroom houses. Just under 300 homes. All of which will be joining the traffic flow on Eagle Avenue. Hence the concerns of a few people that it's going to make congestion a little bit worse. You can turn her up around. At the moment this is the official bridleways back there, and this is a footpath. Although sometimes they get mixed up and the horses decide to use a footpath. Now behind the cars, the houses aren't quite close. It was built about 15 years ago. Modern builds, so they're all pretty small. And we're into the Curlew Gardens area, where there used to be a property used for the children's services. I believe it's been closed down now. I might as well go back on the main path. and do an entire circuit of the route. There we can see the farmhouse. This is the northernmost part of the Wecock industrial estate. Just coming back now to where the park is on Curly Garden. And we're back to the entrance of the pathway I started out on. So around half an hour to get all the way around, didn't take long at all, and that's what's going to fit 300 houses in. And we've got a little squirrel to say hello to. Not sure where he's going because that tree doesn't go anywhere. He's just going to sit out on top of it now, hoping that'll go away. Are you going to make a jump for it? There he goes. Yeah, he's got access across to another tree. Bye, Mr. Squirrel.